Subscribers, and welcome back to Literary Eerie. Today we are doing DM Dice, and with us today is Luke.
Hello. That's it. That's
Good start.
That's all you have to say,
Good
Luke.
start. But we also, come on, Simon.
Oh yeah, we got the cat, but
yeah, we got.
there's a tail.
His
Yeah.
ass is in my face, by the way.
You can see that, yes, everyone.
Oh,
Here he comes. Here he comes. He's coming to read that Irish dictionary.
He's like.
He needs that knowledge up in there. Okay. Okay.
So today we are talking about what are we talking about, Luke? It's up to you.
This will be Luke's day. We are talking character, kind of. Only a matter of time, Simon. Less than a minute. Less than a minute. Okay. So everyone, we're going to be talking about some character concepts for some of our characters, and maybe give some advice through that about how to possibly make a character. And we're starting off.
Don't be a certain group member. There's one.
Oh yeah, don't be a certain group member. But we brought Luke here because, well, one, he's a member of the group.
Isn't there like 3 certain group members?
Mainly one.
Mainly one.
Anyways, secondly, Luke played a chaotic evil as his first character. As we all know, chaotic evil is one of the hardest alignments to play in D&D, largely because you need to play someone who is either insane or just very malicious and unpredictable. So I'd like to give it over to... Good thing that's not connected. Okay, I'd like to give it over to Luke so he can talk about his character, which was Xenath.
Yeah, so first character I ever made was actually a half-orc, a substitution for the original character that I wanted to make, but we'll get into that later. Let's see here. He was a half-orc, chaotic evil. And Liam, I swear to God.
Yeah, we'll get into him.
Hey, yeah, well, they're trying to personify me as Xenath now, and they trust me, you don't want to see it. Well, let's see here. I started off with a half-orc fighter instead of the traditional half-orc barbarian, as most people would like to see.
The barbarian. You can go on rages.
Ooh, rages. Who gives a crap?
Can I just point out that Xenath sounds like a female name to me for some reason?
It wasn't.
Xenath is, we talked about this, and Luke and I thought it was a pretty cool name. Xenath, means like the pinnacle of something.
Oh.
So it means like perfection. It has nothing to do with feminine or masculine. What is with you guys and having issues with Luke's name and calling them feminine?
Exactly.
I don't know. It's probably the Z in the front.
Or it's actually an X.
Z. Oh.
It's not like it's not spelled like the word.
Yeah. Okay. Here's another thing.
Okay.
Name your character something simple, so your group's DM or any group members don't screw it up.
Yeah, and I thought Xenath was very nice because it's an actual word.
Name's Quintel.
For example, one of our DMs, and you've probably seen him before, Nick, always spelled it Zenith.
Because he spelled it the way that it was
pronounced.
Yeah, or the way it was spelled in English.
Yeah, but
And because we're Canadian.
Well, even though I kept reminding him multiple times.
We said Zed, yes, everyone.
Yeah.
We're hardcore. Yes,
I
Luke's...
normally don't say that, but I've gotten into it.
Yeah.
Although the original spelling was Xenath. F. Yeah, thanks. English. Xenath. So Xenath. It's like the X in xylophone. Anywho, so played a chaotic evil. He always got crap intros, as I've seen in the previous videos that you guys went over that.
I never introed Xenath, by the way.
Yeah, no, the first one was he was a slave. He didn't start with anything but a loincloth, in which nearly got burnt.
Get out of there. You're stealing the show.
No!
In which nearly got burned off, which pretty sure no one wanted to see a half-orc package. That would have been, oh my.
You had to take a sword from the first guys he killed.
Yeah, I had to take a sword from the first guy I killed. If not, I'd just be punching things for the rest of the game.
which you were
until I
surprising.
bought something.
You were surprisingly good at that.
Yeah, but that's when we did D20 damage.
Yeah, D20 damage, nothing matters.
Oh, you punched him in the face. D20 damage.
That made
you
no
basically
sense.
cave in his skull.
Why did that make any sense when, you know, we were using swords and fists like they were both D20 damage?
I don't know. I guess half-orc's fist counts as swords.
I know. Yeah, it was like a worse. It was like a worse version of first edition.
So yeah, basically, so I picked Chaotic Evil because it was different from the rest, and well,
yeah, we were a whole bunch of chaotic, good vagabond kind of dudes who were just like going around like, yeah, we're gonna help people, but fuck the police.
You never wanted to meet Xenath. Like if you were in that world, you never want to meet Xenath. To be honest.
Yeah, Xenath was an
He's brutal.
absolute terror to be around, but for some reason people wanted to adventure with him.
Well, because he protected people. He killed everything he saw.
Yeah, Xenath was the enforcer, kind of the group.
What was it? Shall I tell him one of the stories? Shall I tell him how I basically crushed a guy's head against a tree for my first kill?
Well, that's a good example of Xenath, but like, could you get like I know he's a bad guy to be around, but you could get kind of into the pathos, like the reasoning for his
for his protection, like for his protection.
Yeah, for like just the why he acts the way he does.
Well, what I had set for him as a little backstory for him was he basically watched all of his clan get slaughtered, and everybody. He couldn't save anybody, and so anybody he really gets around after he knows for a little bit. I mean, at first the adventurers he met, he was like a little wary of them because they were elves, they were humans, which were all in pretty much a part of the slaughtering. So he was basically very cautious, I guess, as to partnering up with them. But as soon as he started like working with them more, he started having more care, and didn't want to see anybody die like his whole clan did. So he basically anything that proved a threat, he took out the biggest target. Tried to take out the biggest threat.
Yeah, it's weird. He was kind of like the guy who had seen like absolute suffering, and he decided that he was going to inflict it on others, as opposed to being that very common hero backstory where their entire tribe was destroyed, but now they're going to defeat the big bad. Where Xenath was more like, well, if I didn't get to have a nice life, then why should any other fucker who messes with me get it?
So kind of like one of the psychologies behind bullies, where they're like, oh, well, my parents split up, my life is horrible, I'm going to take it on others.
Yeah, but there was a bit more to Xenath than that, because he had his protective nature as well.
And another thing, he also didn't like elves. He hated them with a vengeance.
A common theme with our characters is, interestingly enough, the hatred of elves.
Well, they're always
superior race.
What he says. They're always portrayed as self-righteous assholes.
Yeah, they're the best smiths in the land, despite the dwarves being the smithing race. It's like, but no! Did you know the elves forged the absolute best weaponry? Impossible! Because the dwarves are like the smiths. That's the entire part of their culture.
Did they also know a caster that was within the elf council could not hold off a half-orc?
Oh, yes!
Did you know that humans are known for absolutely nothing?
They're known for living for a while
having
and
the freshest
dying.
meat of all.
Yes.
The best meat of all.
Yes.
Sains does have the most precious meat in his pants.
Okay, moving on.
What's odd is that humans are well known for being the military dominance race.
Exactly.
Which is kind of funny because
their skills mostly go to intelligence and stuff.
Yeah, and Xenath takes that with him to an extent. His half-human heritage is pretty because obviously he's an orc. I mean, the human side of his family was not expressed, but it was surprising how well he worked together with other group members.
Well, which also meant though the fact that he was which also justified my reason for making him a fighter, too, because he would have been trained with any weapon, simple martial.
Yeah, so he grew up in this orc clan. He got a lot of orc heritage, basically.
He's mainly orc heritage, but
and had to kind of prove to other orcs, obviously, because that's how things work.
Yeah, they didn't. Because they always hate it seems like every race hates the half race. Like half elves, elves really hate them. Humans hate them. Like
He doesn't hate anyone.
yeah, well,
Yeah, but half-orcs get the worst of it because
because
they're
they're
not
the ugliest and they're the stupidest because they get most of the orc traits, really.
yeah, but Xenath himself was not actually that unintelligent.
No.
Smarter than the elf.
Yeah.
Smarter than the elf we had traveling.
Smarter than the elf that burned down the tree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't we talk about him?
We talked about it like the last one.
Exactly. Can't we keep bringing it up?
Yeah, we can definitely.
Yeah. Remember all the arguments that we got into?
Yeah. Basically every time Nick's elf got into an argument with Xenath, it was basically like him being like, "Oh, you stupid orc," and then Xenath would be like, "I'm pretty sure that I've made better decisions than you have."
I never actually played with Xenath. What was her fighting style like, actually?
Vicious.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
If I can describe it in one word, vicious.
Xenath was straight up berserker, and that's kind of why the barbarian class didn't really mesh with him, because in order to be a barbarian, you need to have times of lucidity, and then you need to go on, like, rampages. Xenath was just all rage, but it was, like, calm rage. He didn't...
Passive rage, almost.
Not quite passive.
No, passive. Well, okay, anyway.
Yeah, he didn't get... He got angry, but he did not get, like, enraged with someone. He was always pissed off, but he always was calm in the battlefield.
Yeah.
Most inventive martial warrior we actually had, really.
Oh, and to clarify his story, the farmer paladin that died was not because of the group. That was wrong. That was a wrong call.
Yeah, Nick
Xenath single-handedly murdered him.
Xenath, decided.
I mean, not to undermine the group, but I mean.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's how you get with Xenath's character. Anyone who's opposed to him
will die.
In any way has to go, and that was an interesting way of playing here because he did kill the farmer, and at that point the farmer was on. That's the interesting thing. Xenath killed people he didn't like, but he would kill them after they outlived their usefulness.
Essentially. Except elves. Elves didn't stand a chance.
No.
He wouldn't even have usefulness for him. He'd be just like, nope, you're dead.
Perhaps we'll talk about the elf.
Oh, the elf council?
Yes, the elven council in
this
town.
Awesome.
This is like the moment that greatly defines Xenath as a character, and we got to see where his It was a great example of having a character and using his character in game and showing what that character would act like.
What was it? Was it just the fact that they kept saying superior? Did that happen first? I can't remember what order it happened in.
They stated, of course, that the elves are like they were playing it down. They were downplaying their normal elven supremacy. I fucking hate elves. Like, it's not like that. I don't. Sometimes it's not like
how they're portrayed.
Yeah, it's not that sometimes I don't have elves as the good guys. I've had that before, but there's quite a few times where like elven society will just be stuck up pricks. Simon really needs to get his opinion in on this. He sees another cat and he's like, "This motherfucker, what's he doing?" Anyways,
wait, there's another cat?
No, he was seeing himself.
Oh, okay. He's like, what the hell?
Yeah, but basically the elves are always like these high society assholes. So they were toning it down a little bit, but just to Xenath, they were complete assholes.
They were just like, no. He saw an elf he wanted to murder. So, what was it? Oh, yeah, it was an elf council member that was trying to get me out of the whole, like, embassy, I guess you would call it, but like the round table discussion kind of room.
Yeah, it was like their committee room. And they were saying, we don't want an orc in here.
Yeah, they're trying to kick me out.
They figured he was like a spy or something.
Yeah, they figured, and they kept remarking that he was a stupid orc. And then he's like, and since they're all self-righteous, they're saying this one. So his last words were superior race. Because as soon as he said that, Xenath unsheathed the sword in one swift movement, spun around, and decapitated the fucker.
The elves were Nazis, basically. That was their salute, definitely.
Despite the fact I wasn't around in that campaign yet, yeah.
Yeah, and that's where one of the main themes kicked in too, pissing and shitting themselves.
Oh yeah. Xenath, I was thinking to myself, well, after Xenath did what he did, and we need to get to the actual gritty details. So they started fighting these elven guards. relatively, decent fighters, but they were no match for the party at this point. Not the ranger and his wolf, and like Xenath just tearing through people. And that was when one of our party members actually died. This elven paladin just ran her through with a sword.
In which she was the only good elf around. Now, although Xenath hated her because being an elf and all.
Yeah, she was a caster, didn't stay behind the back lines.
No, it got...
Sadly. But that was, it was okay. The player wasn't very enthusiastic about playing the elf anymore. Well, it was more time constraints. It was more time constraints. The player would have wanted to come back for more, but it just wasn't happening. So it was okay that the death occurred at that time. Regardless, that means despite that happening, they clear out the guards. Besides, of course, a few unlucky rolls that led to that event. But then some more like all that's left are 2 guards. It's the elven paladin and a elven wizard.
Yeah.
And Xenath is able to
just thinking about this again is making me giddy because I just love the moment.
I think you sparred with the paladin. You fought with the paladin for a little bit, but then the ranger got on fighting the paladin.
No, didn't I snap the ranger? Didn't I snap the paladin's neck?
Oh right,
I got behind it and snapped his neck.
Yeah, because what happened was basically.
No. We made him go prone, and I stepped on his neck.
Right.
I crushed his windpipe.
Crushed it with your foot. Right. So basically, what goes down is I think the wolf tackled it to the ground.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So the ranger and the wolf,
that's what it was.
and his wolf, they tackled this guy to the ground, and Xenath just walks over and stomps on his windpipe basically. So we've had this elven wizard who's missed his attacks. The party wasn't really paying much attention to him, and it's just this elven wizard that's left. But between them and these counselors.
Oh, he doesn't have time to run either. That's the funny part. No. Xenath approaches him. I'm actually gonna try not to spare details. Well, let's see here. He still tried to tag Xenath, kept missing. Xenath approached him, stabbed his sword into his stomach, and started to brutally, slowly go up, eviscerating him.
Yes.
Still alive. The guy's still alive, by the way.
So
he's still living through this whole thing.
Yeah, this wizard is getting cut through, basically, just by this sword. And, of course, you can't concentrate when you're doing that. So the wizard just struggles out. He struggles out one last, firebolt spell.
In which he tried and succeeded killing himself with a fireball. But
Yes.
Xenath immediately tried to grab his arm so he couldn't do it.
Yeah, the wizard literally takes up this firebolt. He's like, oh my god, I need to end this pain. So he starts, aiming it at himself.
Xenath wasn't quick enough. No. Yeah, he wasn't quick enough to push his arm down.
Xenath goes to grab the arm, doesn't work. He shoots himself in the face with a firebolt, which I think is a pretty terrible way to go, but it was easy. Well, it was better than the alternative.
Either you die with your guts, just spilling out, and you, just bleeding profusely, or you die with a fireball. I'm pretty sure I'd take the fireball because it's actually a quicker death, especially since it smashed him in the face.
And then all that's left...
I think it would be better, definitely better than evisceration. Because, if you've ever dissected a pig, that's not a pretty time. That's the most... Yo, Simon, someone here is allergic. Yeah. Not me.
He always guesses me. Anyway.
But that's not a fun time. That was not pretty. I would be like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm going to commit suicide.
Do you think one of the elf council members...
He's I don't enjoy this.
Honestly, though, do you think one of the elf council members are going to get involved after they just watched one of their fellow members get beheaded by the half-orc?
Oh, it was terrible. How that... And then, the funny part comes up. So the ranger...
he tries to look all menacing.
The ranger is just going to scare the shit out of the council. So what he does is he picks up the head of the one guy who's been beheaded, and he picks it, and this is just really weird stuff, out there stuff, and I think he was chaotic neutral.
I don't know. I think so.
He picks it up, and he licks it. He licks the head as a way of intimidating them, and it fails miserably. He rolls extremely low, and basically they're not scared, they're just grossed out. But then Xenath,
I forget exactly what he said. It was something about them trying to kick him out or something. I can't remember exactly what he said, but he threatened him or something, and he's like,
Yeah.
he basically said, if any one of you try to challenge me anymore, again, either the evisceration will happen or you'll get your head cleaved off.
Yeah, it's just basically to the effect, who's next? And yeah, he gets his intimidation. He scares the shit out of these guys. A lot of them, they urinate on themselves.
Oh,
A couple of them passed out, didn't they?
Like, yeah, and quite a few of them passed out as well. And it was just, they would not deal with that. They were just, like, terrified. And the party was basically done with their business in the town after that. Having completely,
massacred.
Yeah, like, forget any side quests, because these were some racist motherfucking elves, and Xenath would not stand for that.
No. If he had the opportunity, he'd probably slaughter the whole town and go down fighting guards.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, that brings up another fun... God damn it, Simon.
Simon, someone here's allergic.
Anyway, can that be seen now?
Yeah, you can be seen just over his head.
Anyway,
It's okay, Simon.
Anyway,
We're
that
paying
brings up
attention.
another topic, actually, about Xenath himself and, like, death and such. Remember how I didn't really want... as soon as I was able to get my werewolf up and running, I didn't want him anymore?
Yeah, so once Noble Azura was a thing, Luke had wanted to get rid of Xenath, and he was telling me, oh, I really don't want to play Xenath, like, basically giving me this idea, like, hey, maybe kill him. Maybe kill him off. Maybe, a little bit.
But the thing is, I took care... Like, I mean, you weren't supposed to do that at the time. You die in a... Unless you told the DM. I guess you could tell the DM that you want your character dead, right?
Yeah, so I had... generally, I think that is something that you can do when you're a DM, but I don't know how people do it. So generally, I had this, like... I came up with this idea, basically...
Roll on you die.
No, that was Nick's idea, and that was really stupid. That was, like, the biggest threat ever.
Yeah, so going into the keep... Basically, it
wasn't the keep. It was we were going across a bridge.
Well, yeah, you were going across that bridge, but it was the bridge to the keep, basically,
right, yeah.
To the this keep of this necromancer. Yeah. And I came up with this idea that there was going to be mob enemies, and basically,
attack as one unit.
Mob enemies are like extremely weak enemies that kind of attack as a unit. It was very loose rules I was playing with. Generally, mobs are far too fearsome for this. Yeah, well, they were too fearsome, actually, rather. So, basically, when they were entering the bridge, this huge mob just comes and, like, springs a trap on them, basically. And the rest of the party, basically, it was devised. They went ahead, and Xenath stayed behind, because Luke intended for this character to die, basically, so he's like, oh, I'll do it alone, because, and again, this is kind of like Smith with the wolves,
yeah.
Except Smith had not intended to be alone in that battle, so, basically, just like Smith and the wolves.
He was going to change his alignment, too, like, I was prepared to change for an alignment change before he died.
Yeah, so basically, there was, he was basically this, doing this, really heroic thing, but then Luke tells me he's changed his mind after I have already had this mob of enemies coming towards him, and that was... Oh, God!
Oh, God! Chicago's melting down again!
No!
Yeah, oh, God.
Oh!
We're all gonna die.
So, beyond the nuclear alarm, we're all dead. Oh, disaster averted. Okay. So, beyond that, basically, he had wanted to kind of just straight up...
He had a whole speech plan, too. That's the fun. Oh, yeah. He had a whole speech plan.
It was a speech plan for this. But anyways, yeah, so he decided Xenath shouldn't die. So I was like, well, this was going to be like an instant death scenario, but now it's not going to be. So now Xenath can find a way to...
it was like a sturdy rope bridge, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it wasn't too difficult for him to find a way out of this problem. It was a rope bridge. He basically disengaged and cut the bridge off. Which, of course, left us sans an exit, but you'd hope they'd be able to find a way. Like, maybe they just read books until they level up enough that they learn Featherfall.
Featherfall.
Left the bridge, but left Xenath alive.
Yeah. Oh, remember that gnome with Featherfall? I punted it.
Oh, yeah. Was that Xenath who did that?
Yeah, Xenath punted the gnome, and he just had Featherfall flipping him off.
Yeah, Xenath punted a gnome. He was basically a bard, a gnome bard, but he punted this gnome. I can't remember the reasoning for it. The gnome had offended him somehow.
I think the gnome offended. I can't remember exactly. All I remember is just him just
punts this gnome. Gnome has Featherfall. Gnome just like flies, floats downwards, and it flips him off when he lands.
Away.
Fuck you.
Basically, that's all I could imagine. Just like a little, like a high pitched voice, and like just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a very fun character.
Oh yeah. Moving away from Xenath because I have no other funny stories or like character build stories for him. Remember the running joke that we still have?
Oh yes.
Bucklers?
This was odd. This was one of those experimental times that Luke got to DM.
Couldn't think on the spot. It was horrible.
Yeah, it was very difficult for Luke. It was like kind of a one-shot thing we were doing a little bit, but that was the shopkeeper.
Oh, that was a shopkeeper. So many bucklers.
Yeah, that was pretty funny with the shopkeeper. So basically, we go in, we go into the shop,
God.
and
I mean, it was a horrible moment for me. But it was like
I think
emerged a wonderful joke.
What was it? Nick was Rovnar or something. I think it was Nick was asking. Was it Nick who asked?
No, let's hear. It might have been. Yeah, it might have been Nick.
I think it was Nick. But yeah, he came into the store and he was like, or came into the blacksmith and he's like, "Excuse me, sir, would you happen to have any shields?"
No, it was any like what are your wares?
Oh yeah, what are your wares? And he says, "Well, I got bucklers."
Well, that's because I just kind of broke down. Like it wasn't even like what 10 minutes in, and I was already
why?
Never mind.
Why?
False alarm on the false alarm.
Clever.
Everyone get under the desk.
False alarm on the false alarm, which it's on the false alarm.
I guess so. So yeah, basically, the shopkeeper. So then Nick's kind of like, "Oh, anything else?" And then he says,
"Oh, it was bucklers. All he had was bucklers. He made his family eat bucklers because he dipped all of their life savings into the store and supplies.
And all the supplies were bucklers.
All the supplies were bucklers because he didn't know how to manage. He didn't know how to manage them.
Yeah.
He didn't know how to manage. That's all he knew how to make. Give him a break, okay? He was a very amateur blacksmith. All he knew how to make was he got the shields from a blacksmith, but he was a leather worker. That's what it was.
We got bucklers and
bucklers.
Accessories.
Literally, who married this man? His family was all
hey, maybe. Hey,
bucklers.
Okay, you know.
Were his children bucklers as well?
No, they ate bucklers. That's all they ate. That was everything was bucklers. They had bucklers for sale. They had bucklers for furniture. They made bucklers into freaking furniture.
Are bucklers leather?
I think, they have a metal. It's a metal plate.
Yeah,
they have
like
leather around
they
it.
eat the back. It's cow hide. I mean, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's not a good life, but
no, that's all they ate. Oh, all my family eats is bucklers. Oh, we have his buckler. Please buy some bucklers.
Yes, he got a mercy buy. I think he got some to buy.
I think somebody bought a couple actually.
Yeah, so that was Buckler Merchant, and
it's an ongoing.
Oh my gosh! Make him a character. Make his first name Buckler and his last name Merchant.
I'm going to.
His name is Buckler Merchant. Oh god, yes. So it's a running joke now when, even when someone just walks into a store and they ask, "What do you have?" and very occasionally we'll just be like, "Bucklers." Or someone will ask for a shield or a tower shield, and it's bucklers. Like, "No, but I have bucklers."
5th edition really watered that down. It's just shield.
Shield, no buckler, no tower shield. It's all you get.
Why are you Indian?
You decided that was Indian, but it kind of was. I don't know. I started talking like that, and I went with it. That was just the natural.
God,
that was the accent.
You freaking racist.
You're the one who decided to identify it as Indian.
Okay,
you're the one who dropped the biggest. You're the one who dropped the biggest bomb in Call of Cthulhu. So I'm going to be talking.
I was in character. I was in character in my defense.
There was no Indian stereotype about selling bucklers.
Yes, but that accent was clearly Indian.
Maybe you worked at the Quickie Mart. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm sorry. I'm
still.
sorry, people of the internet. I had to make the joke.
Why can't we just use accents sometimes? You know,
Anyway.
Because
nondescript accents.
Yeah,
not
if we use accents, if you and I use like a southern accent,
We
you
suck.
have
You
Papa
want
Bear
to
going,
buy
and
it?
I have my character study character going.
Yeah, maybe no, probably next
This is
episode.
my character. Oh, wait, no, this is Joe. My name is Joe. I work in a budding factory or something like that. I
My
don't know.
God.
Oh.
What? Okay.
No, don't look up that word.
I'm sorry, you were just boring me so much. I had to look fucking Irish dictionary.
Anyway, so what? Yeah, you go in your bugbear stage, and I get. That's how we get recognized.
Yeah,
that's it.
You know, yeah, that's interesting. I have not done like in D&D. I have not done like a really weird like accent in a while. Like I used to have all the guards talking like they're from freaking I don't know.
England.
Yeah, talking
You
like
should
from
have
freaking
your
England.
character. You should make Christian a character.
Oh.
Oh no.
No, he would
Intelligence
kill
5.
him. Anyway.
Anyways, I think we're we're probably going to end it here. Our next video is
About Noble.
well, we'll probably do Noble next.
Yeah.
Is
You
what
know
I was gonna
what?
say. We'll do Noble next video. We could do Thames. We could cover Papa Bear. We'll cover him at some point. Papa Bear, the most mimetic, but also one of the least important members of the entire team.
Before we go, I have one thing to say. Another thing to say that was said wrong. That was said wrong, yeah, in the last episode about what Nick said about retconning.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing of our last campaign was not retcon. That is coming. That is going to be a returning thing. I'm just saying that now.
That is going to.
The whole setting's going to return.
Mm-hmm,
He misused the
Retcon.
English language.
Now Liam will search retcon for us, and we will get it in Irish for you. Yes.
Is that even in the web? Is that even in any dictionary? Retcon.
We'll now see.
But then again, it's Irish dictionary. They have a word for literally everything.
No, they don't have a word for hatch.
So say if they don't have a word for everything, that's going to be kind of sad.
Yeah, no, they don't have a word for hatch for some reason.
Unfortunately, they do not have retcon in here.
Interesting.
Okay, well let's just.
They don't have every word.
Apparently, they do have retract, which is kind of similar.
Yeah, but that's pretty nice.
Yeah, that's
Use
retracting.
that for us.
I want to retract his statement, so give him that.
Oshtaring.
Okay, I'm oshtaring his statement. Is that good?
Oh, that pronunciation was terrible. I'm
So
sorry,
sorry.
everyone.
Eh.
See you in the next video.
Whoa. We didn't. Like, subscribe, and put a comment down there. You can follow me at Maxwell E. Snow on Twitter.
You can follow me at Go Fuck Yourself.
You can follow me on the street if you happen to be in my town.
Did we even introduce ourselves in the beginning of the episode? Like, we're
Yeah,
trying to
you
do.
said, well, you said Liam, Brendan. You said you're here with Luke, and well,
I'm Liam. Goodbye.
Hi, Brendan. Oh.